he's made waves and headlines 3 weeks straight from social media posting. He knows it's the center of attention. Jalen comes off a perfect passer rating game. Everybody's talking about, Jalen Hurts this week, and then he's got to go and do that. I'm just like, dude, are you jealous of Jalen Hurts? Like, what's the deal?
I really like AJ too. I do. But I always go back to quotes I've learned when I was young. And one of them is, you know what? No matter what, some people are just never happy. Maybe that's him.
All right, let's go to our main man, Jeff Kerr, who's set to join us right here. We've got a super chat. Look at this. Appreciate y'all bringing Kerr on every week. I don't know he's agreed, but I always enjoy his segments. Best show on YouTube. Look at that, Jeff Kerr.
Yeah, Jeff Kerr getting some love. There we go. That's gonna boost his ego early on Monday morning.
Right now, Jeff Kerr joins us here on Birds 365. You can follow him at Jeff Kerr CBS and read all his work at cbssports.com. Jeff, welcome to the program, my friend. How you doing this Monday morning?
Good. By the way, I'm glad not everybody agrees with me. That's kind of the point, right?
Yeah, you don't want everyone to agree with you, Jeff.
Yeah, no. Then you're just kowtowing to the fan base. So can't do that. Jeff doesn't do that. So credit to him for that. Credit to that commenter, because Jeff's very good, and we're glad to have him every Monday morning, most Monday mornings. And today is a Victory Monday, Jeff. Now, where you stand in the fact of sort of this is gauging where the Eagles are versus, as I described, the leaves are falling for the Giants. They figured out that they're a bad football team.
I agree with you, John. When I hopped in, I saw you were talking. You guys were talking about the Giants, the Titans, the Raiders. I forget if you mentioned the Raiders in there. I think they're a bad football team.
Yeah, the Raiders. Yeah, you can throw them in there. This is the time of year when they figured out. So if they don't play well early in the game, you see those kinds of teams just kind of check out. Happens every year.
It really felt like the tide turned for the Giants. Dare I mention the tush push fumble? It did feel like whenever that controversy happened, Dable was losing his mind on the sidelines.
You can't do that, Jeff.
Yeah,
he got screwed. Look, I get the frustration. You can't do that as a head coach. Can't do it.
Yeah, and I think that affected how the team played because, we say it all the time. I get why players show emotion. I do, but we always tell them to hold it in. If you're a coach, you really got to hold it in because that just affects your entire football team. And they went how their coach went that day, and Eagles just beat them physically after that.
Yeah. I agree with you. If you go back to the game in MetLife where he was trying to get in the injury tent when Dart was in there for concussion, it's like, what is this guy doing? And they ended up getting fined. Well, I think the team got fined $200,000. He got fined $100,000, I think, and somebody else got fined. I think Scatterboo because he tried to get in there as well. I mean, I hate calling for people's jobs because I don't want anybody to lose their job, but this is zero-sum business. You got to produce. This guy's not a head coach.
Yeah, and you had your built-in excuse already this season. Well, I never had my quarterback. Well, now you do have your quarterback, and you're still losing.
Well, now they're without Scatterboo. They were without Malik Neighbors. I mean, let's be real. That's not the best roster, even with a great quarterback.
It's just off-field stuff. Well, it's on-field, off-field stuff is where I'm getting.
I think do you guys buy this? I think yesterday he threw that challenge flag after he knew there was no chance. It was not even worth challenging because I think he was just trying to bring more attention to that bad call in the tush push.
Oh, he was. And it worked for a lot of people. Like our national insider, Jonathan Jones, who's really good, by the way. He wrote a story on the tush push saying, hey, look, he goes, he's never been pro or against it, but he wrote the way Dable acted and the way the Giants acted and how the officials just couldn't handle a fumble. It's going to get banned because of that. The league will use that.
It's got to go. It's got to go. It's got to go.
Yeah.
It's got to go.
I mean, that's not why the Giants got destroyed yesterday.
No. But they can't officiate it. It's got to go. And they can't officiate it.
Yeah,
it's not the Eagles' fault. And by the way, until it goes, the Eagles should use it 1,000,000 times if they need it. Yeah. But it's got to go. That's my take on it. not the Eagles' fault. They should continue to use it. But, objectively, you can't let a team push and push and push and push and then let them go 3 times or 4 times and finally get the person. And then when they push and Jalen Hurts tries to reach out the ball and they fumble and all of a sudden you go, we stopped it. Come on. I mean,
I always laughed about this, and I think it was John Clark I said it to yesterday. It's always funny, the forward progress rule, right? If they're on the 1 yard line, Jalen does that play's ruled dead. It's a touchdown, right? Because the ball crossed the plane, whatever, but the ball doesn't cross the, whatever forward progress when you get the first down. They'll rule the. That's where football gets so confusing to me, and they can make it so much simpler.
Over legislation, ludicrous. Back in the old days, they used to just stop. Forward progress, you stop, they blew the whistle.
Yeah. And they blew it a lot.
That was a really bad call, though. Like, Jalen was still actively moving forward. It wasn't like he came to a stop. He was body was moving, and then he started to move the ball. That was a bad call.
Yeah, Brad Holmes' crew had back-to-back bad non-calls. It was before that, Jalen might have gotten the first down on the play he was hit. You could say he was hit late. And then on the next play is the tush push, and I was like, oh, Jalen fumbled that ball. The Eagles fumbled.
By the way, can we stop? Can people understand when quarterbacks, and this goes from Jalen Hurts to Patrick Mahomes to everybody else, when they run the football, they become runners. So when they're down the field, pretend it's a running back. The running backs get those calls? Fuck no. Why do quarterbacks get those calls?
Oh, you know why, John.
I do know why. And that's, again, the over legislation. And that's why it's confused. And fans are confused because they think quarterbacks get extra protection than regular players in that
and they use like 1 or 2 plays from Patrick Mahomes over the last couple of years to prove their point. I said, you guys do know that does that. Like, Daniel Jones got hit late yesterday.
Did you guys think that spot was correct on the before the tush push?
I gotta watch. I don't know about the spot. It was not.
I didn't. Yeah,
it was
I don't know. I admittedly I don't know, but somebody in the chat is telling me, it should have been a first down, but it looked like when Jalen stepped out, the ball was a little bit back, and when the ball went,
it's where the ball is when he steps out.
What I thought. It's where the ball is, and it did look like it was a little short of the first, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
I mean, let's just put it this way. When I tweeted about it yesterday, I rewatched the play, and I agree with a lot of people say, I'm like, you know what? After a second look, this is why I always say officials have really tough jobs, because I thought it was, but I could see why they would rule against it. Let's just put it that way.
Jeff, what'd you make of Jalen Hurts, man? Another game where he just looked efficient and damn good with the football. 15-20 yesterday, 141 rating, 4 touchdown passes for Jalen Hurts. That's 7 touchdown passes in the last 2 weeks for Jalen Hurts, and he's got
MVP, baby. MVP.
Got over 500 yards in the last 2 games, throwing the ball as well with extreme efficiency. What'd you make QB1 yesterday, Jeff?
I mean, there's going to be some MVP talk, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
He's got the most touchdowns in the league since week 3. What's the total now? 15 touchdowns to 1 interception this year, I believe.
15-1, yeah.
20-2 in terms of touchdowns to giveaways. Look, Jalen's playing out of his mind right now. He has a 155 passer rating over the last 2 weeks. Like you said, Zander, very efficient. He's just not killing this football team. And I talked to Jahan Dotson after the game, and I don't think he was blindsided that I asked him about Jalen Hurts because everybody was talking about the running game, but he said what he felt. He goes, and I said, look, you see him in practice all the time. You're getting all of this. And he said, look, this is how he is in practice, and it's showing up on Sundays. And he said, we feel he's the best quarterback in football, and we're going to prove that. And, good for that team for backing their guy, because I wish someone else would back their guy right now.
Who are we we talking about, Jeff Kerr?
Yeah, I think we know.
Are
But
the Philadelphia Eagles a better football team without A.J. Brown, as some
no,
people are
hell
speculating?
no.
Yeah.
No. And you beat the New York Giants without him. I don't want to hear that bullshit. But Jeff, I do want to hear your take on AJ Brown. So, it sounds like you have some thoughts on it. Enlighten me. Come on, hit me with them.
I just wish he would publicly defend Jalen every once in a while. He doesn't.
Well, he's actually going now the opposite of that, Jeff. It's one thing to just not say anything.
The Instagram detectives have told me he deleted Jalen Hurts.
He's got tweets from 2020, 2022, where he's giving Jalen credit in tweets. And people, I guess, go back and they find these tweets and they started retweeting it again. And now
where do people have time to do this?
I don't know,
Jeff,
unbelievable.
but they
It's
do.
unbelievable.
And I do. Well, the thing that bothers me is AJ knows people are looking at his social media right now. He's made waves and headlines 3 weeks straight from social media posting. He knows it's the center of attention. Jalen comes off a perfect passer rating game. Everybody's talking about, Jalen Hurts this week, and then he's got to go and do that. I'm just like, dude, are you jealous of Jalen Hurts? Like, what's the deal?
I really like AJ too. I do. But I always go back to quotes I've learned when I was young. And one of them is, you know what, no matter what, some people are just never happy. Maybe that's him.
Might be, man. Might be.
Yeah, maybe. That's fair.
And that's not a bad thing. It's not a reflection.
Well, I
on
think
the
it's part of the reason he's the player he is, because he's never satisfied.
Yeah, which is right.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Completely. I mean, greatness, that's how people who achieve greatness are. So I understand that perspective, but you're in a team game. Like I understand your individual accolades matter, and I'm not one that doesn't want you to care about them. But you have to be a part. You have to be good for the team. It's a team game. If you want to be a boxer, go ahead. It's all on you, bro. You get the credit. You get the blame. It's football. You can't take away from the team. I think he's starting to do that, unfortunately.
And this team needs him to win this championship.
I know
they do. If they want to win the Super Bowl, they need AJ Brown.
I agree.
And I don't think they're trading AJ Brown. I think that's ludicrous too. They're not better off without him. I wrote that in my overreaction. Look, just because they look great yesterday doesn't mean that's going to happen. You need AJ Brown to beat the Green Bay Packers in 2 weeks. You need him to beat the Detroit Lions in 3 weeks. And that's the reality. And I hope whatever is going on with AJ, he can fix himself, whatever it is. But I agree with you, Zander. I just think he should take his own advice sometimes and listen to other people in this. Like, people have told him, dude, like, just stop going on your phone, stop admitting you're on your phone, that type of thing. It's
years ago, John came on this show and said, I'm an AJ Brown guy, but I wish he would stay off social media. John's been saying that on this show for 3 years.
I mean, he could be trolling people for all we know. We just don't know.
He definitely trolls people sometimes, but yeah.
Which to me is annoying because, look, I live in a world where you got to be factual all the time. And look, I do the cryptic tweets too when I'm breaking news because I don't want to piss people off. But it's just one of those, come on, dude. Like, people are gullible. You do.
Yeah, I just know people. Look, if he's trolling, that's fine. But he does know that people are going to go where they're going to go with it. And that's why I don't like it. It's like, all right, you can troll, but you know that it's going to take away from your quarterback. I mean, last week, this is what pissed me off about it. Jalen Hurts is a perfect game. Everybody's giving him credit in the media. Everybody's talking about how great Jalen was. And then AJ's got to make this post. Brandon Graham comes back. All the headlines are positive in Eagle land. Oh, let me make a cryptic post. So now everybody talks about me all week. Now the owner is answering at the team meetings for, what do you think about AJ Brown? It's like, bro, do you really need all the attention all the time, AJ? Sit down, and fuck up. You're going to get your yards. You're going to get your catches. Come on, man. Be a part of the team.
I thought Lori's comments on that were very telling, by the way.
Me too. Me too.
Which is he's not going anywhere, by the way. Also, part of those comments. But
I tweeted this a couple weeks ago, Zander. You might have retweeted it too. I said, when's the last time, if ever, which we all knew the answer, Howie Roseman trades a top 10 player at any position mid-season, or just he gets players like that. He doesn't get rid of them.
Yeah, I mean, that's what bad teams do. So I
feel like if Howie Roseman was the Eagles GM during the McNabb T.O. saga, he would have told T.O., look, I'll get you your contract, but dude, like, keep your mouth shut.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's easy to say that, but I mean, superstar. It's not like just Philadelphia. I mean, superstar players are superstar players, and sometimes you have to live with them, giving their opinions, and that's part of
Micah
it.
Parsons gave his opinion
You know,
every day in Dallas.
I thought that was another part of Jeffrey's comments when he was talking about Nick Sirianni and his ability to connect the dots and be a connective force, whatever he used. Just connects with people. That's a big part of it. Difference between Larry Brown and covering the NBA and Phil Jackson. Larry Brown's a better basketball coach. Phil Jackson can manage people. Like everybody in that if you want to draw up a play at the end of the game, Larry Brown. If you want to manage people, Phil Jackson.
There was I used to read a lot of books about Phil Jackson, and it wasn't what he was doing on the court. It was, to back your point, John, the Bulls had the game on a Monday and had a game on a Thursday. It was what he did Tuesday and Wednesday why they won.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big part of it. I would argue a bigger part of it than the X's and O's at times. But X's and O's are a big part of it as well. And all of a sudden, KP is a genius now, evidently, in some people's minds. I want to give credit to two people specifically because they never get credit. And I did yesterday, and I'm going to add. Eagles ran for 276 yards. That's the best rushing performance of the season in the NFL, Jeff Kerr. Every single team, that tells you the Eagles, the ceiling of their running game, and makes it more head-scratching to why they couldn't run the football at all for basically 7 weeks. And all of a sudden, here comes Brett Toth, and everybody thinks, oh, my God, what a catastrophe. And then Big Bread, man. This jumbo formation, he was the honorary, Dallas Goedert called him the honorary tight end for the day, 13 personnel. 12 of the Eagles' 33 rushes were with Fred Johnson on the field. They had 129 yards.
And John, I thought they found out something last week with Fred Johnson, and a couple players on that team hinted to me on Wednesday. You're probably going to see more of that. And Milana explained it yesterday. Why? Because when you got guys just lining up 6 in the box to stop Saquon, you bring Fred in there, that evens the playing field a bit. And
I love, because I asked Nick that during the week. I love when I catch Nick. He was like, oh, shit. Because Jordan Mailata let me in on the 6-man fronts, and they couldn't get double team blocks. They couldn't get one-on-ones. They were getting all one-on-ones. And that makes it so much more difficult. And I brought it up to Nick in one of the press conferences, and he was like, I don't want to get into the scheme, but and they rolled that thing out. I love when I get it right. And they rolled that thing out, and man, it worked. That jumbo package worked like a charm. And Brett deserves credit as well. And all of a sudden you see these pins and pulls, which you weren't able to do if it's one-on-one. It's got to be one. You can't do that as much. And boy, that first hole, man, I said that was like they paved a new lane on I-95, Jeff. That thing was huge. And Saquon just is gone. For those who think he lost something, he didn't lose anything.
No, you and I have been saying that all year. We didn't think he lost anything. But when you put a massive human being on already a line that's massive, you're gonna get good results. And like the Giants were the more physical team the first game. Anybody could have told you that. The Eagles wanted to match that and more. They did that Sunday.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Jeff, is Saquon Barkley in the running game back in Philly? I don't think they ever left physically, but they obviously struggled to get it going a little bit there in the first 7 weeks. They have a massive performance yesterday. You feeling like they found something yesterday, Jeff, that will return? Because we've talked about them needing to get that going all year long.
I think they did, and I think the Green Bay Packers better watch on tape what the Eagles just did last week. Because, by the way, Saquon Barkley's 10th in the league in rushing yards.
Yeah, just like that. I said that. Just like that. One game.
That was like last week with Devontae. Devontae, after last week, moved up to number 6, I believe.
He's still 6, yeah.
Yeah. So, off one game. Yeah, be very careful with stuff like that. But look, if they get back to a semblance, you can't run for 276 every week, obviously, but if they get back to having a semblance of a running game, they become just difficult to stop. They just do.
John, it's funny. We say they can't run for 276, but they can run for 186 because that's about what they
Oh
average.
yeah.
Here.
Oh yeah. And in some ways, maybe he's not a better player. I don't, similar to AJ Brown, and they did play the New York Giants. Brett Toth is not a better player than Cam Jurgens, but Cam's not 100%. And maybe having a player who is 100%, and you saw those pin and pulls, and Brett Toth got outside a number of times, getting big blocks. On the 28-yard run that ended Saquon's day because he tweaked his groin. By the way, he said he's fine. I should have mentioned that earlier in the show. Brett Jones was out there for that one as well. You did a really good job.
Saquon story when he was telling all of us he was fine. I kind of got him after I said, by the way, I knew you were fine. You came out of the medical tent. You were jumping when Tank Bigsby had his big run. I'm like, yeah, players don't do that when they have a groin injury.
Yeah. Well, he had a groin injury, but he'll be back for Green Bay.
Well, yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, even if you tweak it, you're not jumping up in excitement.
Yeah. And Big Tank Bigsby, the kick returner, all of a sudden is now the backup running back. Everything came up aces for the Eagles yesterday. So, it's bye week and everybody's at a high point. Do you have to temper that because of the opponent? Because look who's coming up after the bye, Jeff Kerr.
Yep. On Monday night, too.
Yeah. See that team last night in the second half? Woo!
This is why I don't think the Eagles have. I think Green Bay buys in their own hype a bit, but it's well deserved because they looked tremendous in the second half last night.
By the way, I'm going to give Jeff Kerr a Soapy's choice. All right? I mean, you got to pick one. Can't pick both. Who is the best current NFL player from Penn State University?
Ooh.
Saquon Barkley or Micah Parsons?
Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
All right. There we go. He's correct, by the way. Jeff's correct. I'm sorry.
I'm happy you went with that answer. As much as I want to say Saquon. We were just talking about Micah. Watching him, Jeff, he's a problem every single snap. And they were lining him up in these different looks last night, a little bit off ball, a little bit behind the line. He was just wrecking them last night.
That's why I make fun of the Cowboys this year as much as I do.
What a horrible decision.
Yeah. I'm getting tired of hearing about Super Bowl talk and playoff talk. I'm like, no, you gave that all up when you traded that guy to Green Bay.
What a horrible decision. And then you bring up the contract. Well, we can get this player, and we have this. Shut up. You get a player like that, you keep him in the building.
And you have the audacity to make your own news and say, oh, we call the Raiders about Max Crosby, and we called the Bengals about Trey Hendrickson. Yeah. No, you know what? Shut up. Your quarterback is still a fraud, by the way. Good quarterback. Still a fraud.
There we go. There's the
I
called that this whole week. They're going to get destroyed by Denver. I called it.
Well, Denver's got a really good defense, at least, in modern NFL, really good defense. And, when they play well, it's Bo Nix having a good game, which is up and down from week to week generally.
They ran the ball really well yesterday. But
Dobbins had a decent game. But that's why they're so uneven, because sometimes that offense just goes to sleep, Denver. But their defense is very good.
And Surtain got hurt yesterday.
Did he?
Yeah. He left
long term?
I don't know if it's long term. Peyton seemed a little optimistic after the game, but
because that would be a big loss.
Too bad when he went down. I saw him go down. He was holding on to something, but it didn't look like it was like
it might have been a groin.
Yeah, I don't know.
Either a groin or a hamstring, but that AFC West is going to be fun.
Yeah, I should add the Vikings to those teams with falling to the leaves on Thursday night because they just fell apart against
I
the
felt so bad
Chargers.
for Carson Wentz on Thursday night. You're just letting that guy just getting eaten by
I
the
know.
bull.
Kevin O'Connell's a fraud, by the way. Talk about frauds. Oh, you got to protect play. They got to protect JJ McCarthy and let Carson Wentz be a crash test dummy between two backup tackles. And yeah.
JJ McCarthy is not a good quarterback, and one of the reasons why I said that because I don't. And again, I'll bring up a Penn State connection here. As much as he didn't have to throw the ball,
Price. I didn't throw him in the conversation of best Penn State players. Yeah,
he is not. That's why the Colts got rid of him.
He got $88 million. That's all that matters.
That's because average offensive guards get paid.
Yeah, now they do.
You might not want to watch Penn State this weekend, Jeff.
The next 2 weeks.
Oh, they'll be fine. They took a week off to get ready for Ohio State. They'll be fine.
They're going to get their ass handed.
It's brutal. Who's having it worse right now, Penn State or LSU?
Well,
LSU made a good move. It might be short-term pain, but that
is a good move.
Clown. That dude is a clown.
I'll say this: Penn State still has a bunch of talented players. But it's similar to what I said about the NFL. If they get down 14 points in that game, it's over. Then people will check out. But if they play hard, Ohio State, last year they lost to Michigan with a walk-on quarterback. There's going to be a game where even Ohio State looks like shit.
There's enough players on that team. I can say this.
By the way, who's our Mizzou band, Zander?
Vulnerable Vitality.
Bandy, baby. That's my adopted college.
Bo Verbula got hurt, and Springford's own Matt Zollers came in on Saturday. That was the only game I watched. Bandy Mizzou.
John, you like this Pavia kid? You like that?
I love him. Love him. Only because I saw the Netflix documentary on the SEC. I think it's a great story. Now, Vanderbilt was this shit program.
Yeah,
and now they're a top 10 program in the country.
Football. Yeah, I mean, I get it.
Vanderbilt's going to make the playoff.
I love the story of that program. I love Clark Lee. I love the quarterback. I think it's awesome. They're competitive against everybody, including Alabama. It's unbelievable.
If you're Lane Kiffin, and this is just me, if I'm Lane Kiffin for the day, coaching Ole Miss, doing my thing, Florida and LSU calls me up because they're that desperate, I'd laugh in their face and say, "I'm gonna kick your what every single week."
I'd take the LSU job.
Oh, I would too. You guys ever been to LSU? That place is fun.
Yeah, I've been there.
It's unbelievable.
Well, I'd rather
Florida.
I'd rather be in Florida for
I'm saying.
But I'm saying if you want a program where you can legit go win a national championship, go to LSU.
That just shows you how bad of a coach Brian Kelly is.
Oh yeah, he
sucks.
He's an awful human.
When he got hired and he walked down to the basketball court and completely changed his accent.
Oh my God!
You're a phony and a fraud, and that's exactly what he proved.
I have Ricky Ricardo cracking up, and I make my weekly segment with him on WIP last night. He goes, "You don't want Brian Kelly," and he's laughing. I said, "I just don't like him."
And my family, shut up, Brian.
I don't think anybody likes him. That doesn't. He's a good coach. He has been a good. I mean, he's had a lot of success.
He did a good job at Notre Dame. But Notre Dame fans won't appreciate it, but
it's one of those things where the grass ain't always greener. I get he got paid, but I don't know. We'll see.
Well, he thought he wanted to go win a national championship, and he didn't get it done.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Marcus Freeman was on the doorstep last year with that same program he left and said he couldn't win with. Now I know they didn't win it. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, Marcus they have some hurdles that other
absolutely. Obviously, with the educational stuff.
Yeah.
And, obviously Catholic. I get it. So, but still.
Yeah. So. But yeah, nobody likes Brian Kelly. But I'm not going to say he's a terrible football coach. He's just, I think he might be a terrible person. Although I don't know, people don't seem to like him.
I mean, if you look at that certain scandal in 2010, he might be a terrible person.
Yeah,
folks. Yesterday, how about this? Myles Garrett had 5 sacks yesterday,
and they lost.
And they lost big. They didn't.
They got killed.
Could he be out at the trade deadline? Could he demand to get out of there? No,
I don't think he wants to leave. That's the issue.
No.
Well, he got his money. That's a
So,
shame.
by the way, that you bring that up, first of all, no, he got a monster deal. He's, I go back to Cam Jurgens training camp. I still don't know what this means, but I love it. He's like he's like a predator on ice skates on grass.
Yes.
I don't know what that means, but it seems like a perfect encapsulation of Myles Garrett as a player. But I've seen it twice now where Alex Hunt had a big game yesterday. I think he had 9 pressures, according to Next Gen Stats.
Alex had a monster game. Probably should have 2 sacks too. He got one taken away from him.
Josh Uche's been doing a good job in his role. You're getting Nolan Smith back. You're getting Brandon Graham. I heard a couple people saying the Eagles don't need an edge rusher. Is that just
No,
they need fooled by the New York Giants? Are they being fooled by the New York Giants when they say that?
Whenever you need something to go right in life, you play the New York Giants. it's just the reality.
I'm with you. I'm not.
I like that. I like that, Jeff. You need a little pick up.
Plus, they made him one-dimensional. That's when you look good as a pass rusher. You know what's coming,
right?
Yeah, and that's what Vic's been preaching. And look, if we talked to Vic this week, yeah, he give him credit for this week, but they need talent there. They need more talent. Brandon Graham will help, but they need significantly more. And I said this when I was watching Browns Patriots a little bit of that during the game yesterday. Myles Garrett had back-to-back plays where he had sacks. And I said, I know the Browns stink, but I think I learned more about the Patriots in a blowout win because they face an elite pass rusher. Because Max Crosby did this to them in week 1, by the way, and the Raiders ended up winning. They face an elite pass rusher. The Patriots will probably lose.
Well, I mean, you're right, but I think the Patriots are having a good year, man.
Oh, they're
from where they are in their development, and Drake,
they are going to win 12 games this year.
I mean,
they are.
They're 6-2, right?
Yeah, and their schedule's easy.
Why do you say they would lose if they faced a great pass rusher? They did yesterday, and they beat the.
Because there are some teams with great pass rushers that have pulses and can score with them. The Browns cannot.
But Mike Vrabel's he's a great
coach.
He's a great coach. He's a program changer. He is a really good coach.
I thought
Drake May's completing 75% of his passes right now.
I thought the Patriots won the offseason. I may have said this on here. When they fired Gerard Mayo right after the season, I said, all right, that's the first great move I've seen them do in a long time. Because I saw it last year. I thought Drake May was going to be good.
Speaking of, by the way, speaking of horrible people, Josh McDaniels, horrible person by all indications.
He can call
horrible head coach, really good offensive coordinator. Really good offensive.
You get him back with Drake May. Patriots don't care. They know what he can do. He's only done it for him two different times.
Yeah. I like Drake May. He's a good player. That's going to be an interesting team coming up in the AFC. We'll see what ends up happening there. Jeff, it's been a lot of changing narratives around the Eagles the last couple of weeks. And I think part of that is football, where, we broadcast every day and the narratives just change around a team. But where do you think the truth is going into the bye week? What is your assessment of this team at large? I mean, a couple of weeks ago, it's, Jalen is this and the coaches are this and Howie had an awful offseason. And here we are. Tank Bigsby looks good now. Josh Uche's getting to the quarterback. Jalen Hurts is in the MVP conversation. Saquon Barkley's in the top 10 of rushing again. Where's the truth lie with this team right now going into the bye week, Jeff?
Hey, Howie still had an awful offseason, but this team they're a Super Bowl contender. They are. They're 6-2. They're one of the top 5 teams in the NFL. I can say that.
What Tank Bigsby trade looks like the steal of the century now.
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah, okay. He ran for 100 yards off the Giants. I'm happy for him, by the way. I feel bad for Will Shipley. He kind of got cast off.
Well, he's a good kickoff returner.
Yeah,
he's getting him good field position.
They don't use him offensively.
No, they don't use him offensively. I agree. They don't. He should be the third down back. But what do I know? Yeah, he's a good receiver. All he did was catch 1,000 balls in training camp, and they don't throw him the ball.
No, DeCecco and I were talking about that yesterday. We're like, where are these wheel routes that they ran like 100 times in practice?
I don't know. I have no idea. They pull it out every once in a while. Remember when Saquon had the touchdown?
Saquon had one.
Yeah. And he said it wasn't even in the playbook. What do you mean a wheel route wasn't in the playbook? What did he say? That set people off.
Like, I asked him about like him being involved in the passing game, and he goes off on a tangent about that. I'm like, oh, thanks, Saquon. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? We've seen it multiple times with you. I don't know. Sometimes people just say something in an emotional moment, and fans latch onto it and treat it like gospel. It's like you've seen a wheel route multiple times. Not as much as you should.
Sometimes I think you get a better answer, a non-emotional answer. And I know like maybe players don't like it, but when you're in that scrum, sometimes you don't hear all the questions. But if you ask him it again, you might get a better answer the second time.
Yeah. Yeah. You might you're right. Because a lot of times, especially after games, you'll have guys with other players that walk up late and ask the same question, and you'll get two different answers. So yeah, nobody's under oath. People should realize that. And it's just, speaking extemporaneously, which can go off in different directions. But I
had one of your favorite moments in the scrums yesterday. It was with Saquon.
I thought you were going to tear your Achilles trying to get out of the scrum.
No, but it had something to do with camera people.
Oh, they're awful.
So like I was in position.
Brian Kelly, Josh, speaking of awful people, the camera people are the most awful people in the world.
So yesterday, I didn't know who it was, and I know most of the camera people. It wasn't anybody I knew, but I'm in position to. It was like me, Martin, Johnny McGoggle, a couple people. We were like in great position for Saquon. All of a sudden, this camera guy, bigger than me, boxes me out. So I'm like just reaching my phone and just trying to get the audio. Then he gets mad because he wants to leave after 2 minutes, and I said, no, I'm not moving. You box me out. You're stuck there, dude. I don't care.
Yeah, they're bad people, man.
Yeah, and he got mad, and he's like, "Oh, now you move." I'm like, "Yeah, he's done talking."
We're talking inside baseball. They are bad people.
You guys are always ripping the camera guys. They must really stink.
They're just awful.
Well, they only ask questions.
They don't add anything. I've advocated we should, as a group, just stop asking questions and let these assholes. All right, you want to be an asshole? Go.
Yeah, but you guys obviously it's just something that's not going to go away. The TV.
No. For me, it's it's just simple. It's just me complaining. Like I'm trying to do a job. I'm trying to get a story here. He was a big focal point yesterday, and I'm getting boxed out. It is what it is.
That's your defense, bro. That's your defense. That's your NFL players go up against defense. Your guys' defense as a reporter. You got to get around the TV cameras, man.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of us like to stick together so we form our own collective wall.
Dirty Air in the chat says, respect the cameraman. That is spoken by a cameraman himself for NASCAR.
I do respect the cameraman. I do.
I do not, Dirty Air.
Keep out of the shot, he said. Keep out of the shot, folks.
Yeah. Your shot can go fuck itself. I don't give a shit about your shot.
Johnny Mac.
I do respect the cameraman if they tap me on the shoulder and like my head's in the way because they're trying to do a job too. Completely understandable. I'm also 5'6". I'm not big.
If you tap my shoulder, I'm going in your shot. Purposefully.
So you guys are battling. All right, Jeff, what'd you make of Kevin Patullo yesterday? I think he showed some progress.
He had a great game yesterday.
I understand the conversation about him is always when they're not good, it's on Patullo. When they're good, people give him credit. But I do think take that out. Take the external elements out for a second. I do think there is a learning curve, obviously, for him as a first-time play caller. I think, objectively speaking, he is showing growth in that area, learning a little bit more about his offense, what works, what doesn't, when to go to different things. I read a great tweet from the Honest NFL yesterday kind of talking about just learning how to play call in the NFL. It is a thing. Do you think Kevin Patullo has shown growth so far?
Yeah, I thought this was going to be the case early in the year. Look, he's a first-time play caller. They're still trying to figure things out. I know he's using kind of the same concepts, with Kellen Moore, and him and Kellen Moore were hand and foot last year, but you don't have Kellen this year. So you have to kind of work it out with your Scott Leffler, your Parks Frazier, all those guys. And I felt it was going to take some time. I didn't think they would flip the switch this quickly. Like the Minnesota game, he adjusted on the fly. That wasn't the game plan. He saw the man coverage and said, you know what? We're going to these guys. And this week it was, okay, we're doing the 6-man front on the offensive line. We're going to see if this works. You could tell the first play it was going to work. And they didn't spread the ball around a lot yesterday. Like Jalen went to his guys. He went to Devonta Smith. He went to Dallas Goedert. When he did go to Jahan Dotson, it probably wasn't the greatest throw. I thought it was going to get picked.
No, yeah.
Jahan Dotson made a heck of a catch. I think he was even amazed he caught it. But look, when guys need to make plays on Sunday, they made plays. And I just thought it was sometimes KISS is the best motto. Keep it simple, stupid. And that's what they did on Sunday.
Yeah. Well, you brought up Kellen. Was Kellen that good last year? What are we talking about?
It was good at the end of the year.
I think Kellen was good situationally in moment. Like
who were they better in the red zone last year? Like
I would assume not, because the red zone.
Who's more creative in the red zone? Have you seen some of these Dallas Goedert touchdowns where we're like, well, where'd that come from?
I honestly think Patul's getting the most out of Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, I think Jalen's trying to get him paid too, baby, because he's running up the touchdowns.
John, did you get my melodic quote from yesterday? Goddard.
There's so many quotes.
It was great. He just says, well, you know how Jordan is. He drops the F-bomb.
The F-bomb.
He goes, oh yeah, we almost didn't pay him.
That was good.
That was great. I'm cracking up.
Can you believe that shit? Is what Jordan Mailata said. We almost didn't pay him. Can you believe that shit? Yeah. Well, they actually cut his pay, Jordan. Yeah. By the way, if you don't know that,
Dallas is plenty motivated.
The business of football, but the business of football is what it is. But yeah, sometimes it's good. Dallas is motivated to prove. And look at the season he's having.
He's tied for the league in touchdowns. That's everybody, by the way.
Yeah.
Him and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Season high, and we got 9 games to play. Yep, career high, not season high. Career high for Dallas Goedert already, and he's got 9 games to go.
His career high is what, 5? It was 5?
5 or 6.
Yeah,
it might have been 6.
He's on that pace where I think the record for most touchdowns by a tight end is 12 in Eagles history, and that happened in the 60s.
Well, Jalen, you can tell Jalen's liking going to Goddard, especially down in the red zone. Obviously,
they are very creative when they get to the red zone.
Yeah, they had those 2 pitch passes to him that they had a couple times.
A little more creative than they had been for all the creative people.
Johnny, look at his touchdown to Jalen threw so many touchdowns. I forget now. I think it was to Goddard when Jordan said he thought he was running the ball, and he still thought he was running the ball. Next thing he knows, Dallas Goedert's got the ball.
That was a nice little tweak on that by the offensive coordinator. Although
I know Nick's gonna. I know Nick made the speech yesterday. Oh, we've been top 5 in the red zone the last 4 years.
Well, they have, but that's about the running game.
Yeah, but when they get to the red zone, he's got plays.
Yeah. Well, they certainly. I said Zander asked me yesterday on the postgame show. He asked me about. And I'm the same. I give the credit to players' execution, pin and pull game in the running game. Getting those double teams. Kevin's part of that. He's been more creative in the red zone. There's no doubt. There's no question about that. But that doesn't necessarily mean success. He's just drawn up some things that they haven't done before. He's definitely been more creative in the red zone. But it still comes down to execution. You can be as creative as you want, but if the players aren't blocking, you're not going to do anything. And that doesn't change from week to week. Sometimes one of those shitty games might have been better than this game. but people just judge results. I don't know why this can't be stipulated. It's obvious. You're judging results. They had a lot of success yesterday. So all of a sudden, Kevin, who was the most uncreative player in the world in week 3 and week 4, is now creative.
He should
Does
be
that make
fired after
sense?
the Giants game.
But John, can you? I'm sure you. I mean, can you take the result out of it and just grade or judge like how good of a play caller somebody is by whether they put somebody in the best position to succeed? I mean, I agree with what you're saying. The results are more important, but isn't there a way you can view it of, okay, this guy is doing a good job or this guy is not doing as good of a job? I'm not saying it. Obviously, the result matters the most, but objectively, can't you? I mean, isn't there some semblance?
There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way anybody outside that building can judge play calling. There's no way. There's just no way. Can you judge preparation? Which, by the way, is far more important than play calling. Like I always say, especially in this era, where you can literally go on Google right now and get Bill Walsh playbooks, 100 different playbooks. So you can copy anything you want to copy. Can you teach it to the players? Can you execute it? Can you have it in that situation? That's far more. That's the stuff you can judge. Like, are they ready to execute? Are they ready to perform? Are they doing
and that's the
things
inexact
correctly?
science.
Yeah.
Out of all this, it's something that just covering 2 sports, it's completely.
I know, but the way you're saying it, and I'm not even saying I
Sean
disagree.
Desai runs the same fucking defense that Big Fangio does.
I know.
What's the difference?
So what's the point of having a great play caller?
Well,
like if that's what the way that you view it, why does anybody even have?
Well, you can call a great play if someone misses a block. It's a sack.
Well, I say it all the time. Exactly.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you
could have the best play in the world dialed up, and I've told this story. I've had this discussion with Doug Peterson. You can have the best play call ever dialed up, and nobody knows it because the left guard missed the block. Or you could have the worst play call for a certain situation, and you fucked everything up. And somebody goes and makes a play and makes you look good. It works both ways.
Or someone falls on the defense. Which happens a lot.
Yeah. Somebody blows a coverage. I'm just saying it's not. I'm saying I know that's how everybody views it, but I'm saying it's not possible. I can acknowledge, like, it's not possible for me to judge play callers. It is not possible. And I have more access than 90% of the people. I can't judge play calls. If I can't judge,
they can be good or bad, right?
Of course.
You're just saying based on the information we have, we have no ability.
Exactly.
That's fine.
Exactly. Of course. But again, some of the best play calls are in plays that don't work from a coaching perspective because of lack of execution, because of something else going wrong. And you say as a coach, and that's what Doug was trying to impart to me, you say as a coach, damn, I had him. But nobody will ever know it.
And they're never going to publicly admit it.
Yeah. And the same thing if when a player picks you up as a coach by making a play, like Jalen does it multiple times a game, where the defense may have gotten you. And he just extends the play and makes a play like he did in Minnesota 4 or 5 times. And everybody said, what an offensive game. It's fucking Jalen Hurts making plays and A.J. Brown, which is off schedule stuff. Now, you do have to teach the mechanics of a scramble play. You can't just all run to the same spot. There's rules you have to teach. And again, that's where teaching and execution comes into it. So there's a lot of shit that goes into it. But I'm just saying, anybody who thinks they can judge NFL play callers is blowing smoke up your ass. They don't know. How could they know?
Well, I read Kurt Warner. I mean, is he blowing smoke up my ass?
Well, Kurt Warner's a quarterback. There's a little bit different. Tom's a quarterback. Quarterbacks know what's going on, so they're a little bit more.
They know what's going on week to week, even when they played.
I mean, they know the rules, they know what you're supposed to do, and they have a way better
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm not saying I have their
they have a
level.
way better understanding of what's going on. So yeah, they're a little bit different, especially the good ones. But you also have to be careful about, where are they? What are they trying to accomplish? You have certain guys who play the quarterback position that you'll see during the week, week 3, oh, this quarterback stinks, and week 7, this quarterback's the best thing since sliced bread. You kind of lose credibility with me when you go to that direction. So there's a part of this industry that unfortunately is about, creating eyeballs and saying things that get noticed. So you have to be careful. Specifically to Kurt and Tom, they're very good. They're very good. If you want to listen to anybody, listen to Tom Brady, number 1, and Kurt would probably be in the top 5.
Well,
Easily.
John, I think we're I don't disagree with you necessarily, but I think sometimes when you speak about this, you make it seem like, I don't know if it's your intention, that the play caller has zero to do with it. And I think people can't buy into that, because obviously it has
Well,
something to do with
that's
it.
absurd. I mean, that's zero to do with it is absurd.
All right, well,
I'm
good.
saying
I'm happy you say that.
it's not the most important thing. Execution far more important. But yeah, it matters. I've never
When
said it
Dallas
doesn't
Goedert
matter.
runs a wrong route and Jalen throws a pick, that's
No,
not
I
on
get
the
it.
play
I get
caller.
what you guys are saying when it comes to execution and stuff like that. I do
The
understand
teaching
that
and
part.
the teaching matters more.
Right, teaching.
Because as I said, how many people have copied Vic Fangio's defensive scheme? Do any of them look like Vic Fangio's defensive scheme?
No.
It's like the Xerox copy gets a little bit worse every time.
Like it's like you said,
Yeah.
John. Like Sean Desai runs the same scheme, but the players didn't
Same
know what he was
plays,
talking
same,
about.
yeah, same. Couldn't teach it. Couldn't teach the scheme. Also had some personnel deficiencies, especially in the slot, where he played like 7 different guys. But
Yeah, he did. Yeah, remember Bradley Roby was his slot cornerback at one point.
I mean,
Good.
there's a bunch of different Bill Walsh guys. I mean, how big is the Bill Walsh tree? Are they all the
big.
same?
That's big. That's a big tree.
Anybody, like I said, anybody can go get the plays. Anybody. You as a fan, any fan out there can go buy books or get scheme and see the plays and see the diagrams. That's not going to help you. You can't impart the knowledge, teach it, make people understand
That's why we get upset of like and look, like when people are breaking down plays and stuff, it's okay to do that, but you're also not there. You don't know what's going on. So in a way, you're kind of lying.
Yeah, I get that. Guys, I got to ask both of you a question. Is the narrative, which seems to me like a bullshit narrative, is the narrative that Jalen Hurts can't or doesn't want to play under center, is that finally been put to bed, Jeff Kerr?
Where did that come from anyway?
Well, they never went under
We
center.
talked about it. They didn't use it a whole lot. Part of it was apparently the quarterback doesn't like to go under center. I don't know. I've heard a litany of all of the explanations, Jeff Kerr. Yesterday, he said at the podium, what was his quote? I enjoy being under center, I think he said.
John was there. He would know. I have more important things to do than listen to the cliches yesterday.
Oh, shout at Jalen Hurts.
Hey, he does his job on the field.
It's obvious where it comes from. They were a gun team for his entire time he was here, and they rarely go under center. When they do go under center, before the past couple of weeks, it was basically tush push or the occasional run and nothing else. So that's where it came from. I mean, it's not like it was even a narrative. So the narrative,
fans were right. The fans were onto something. The fans have been telling us for weeks, get under center, run more play action.
Well, come on. The fans say it because they think it's not hard. They think it's easy. They think, well, just line up. Anybody can take a snap. That's the fan.
No, that's bullshit.
Well, yeah. And you got guys who grow up. I try to explain this all the time. Grow up in an environment where they play their whole life in the gun or the pistol.
Yeah, that makes sense. Watch college football.
They play 7-on-7 like religiously. The gun is not a thing. The gun's a thing. Sorry, I'm getting under center's not a thing.
Yeah, it's not a thing in 7-on-7 for the most part. So anyway, they grow up. You have a whole generation of quarterbacks that grow up not even doing it. And then the standpoint, and you brought up the Honest NFL. I'll give him credit as well. And he mentioned they still need to improve on the 3-5 step drops, the quick drops. The fucking footwork and the mechanics of doing that is like military regimental. Like you have to 3-step, 5-step, 7-step, back foot hits the ground, ball's got to come out. That takes years to master. You don't just show up and say, oh, 3-step. How difficult is that? It's like routes, receivers running routes. Like Nick Sirianni is so focused because he used to coach wide receivers. Like he gets legitimately pissed off. The first rule for any wide receiver is don't fool the quarterback. And that means be where you're supposed to be. And if you're running a certain thing, it's got to be 10 yards and you're cut and you got to be in this spot. It's very regimented, which I think people don't realize. Same thing with footwork and quarterbacks. And it takes a long time to master. And things are going well for the Eagles. I guarantee you this. If they're under center, because I see this with legitimate play action teams, and I'm talking Shanahan type teams, legitimate old school play action. And even this frustrates me watching those teams because they're the opposite. They have quarterbacks where are comfortable under center and comfortable with the play action looks. So even when it's 3rd and 15 and say it's a 3-point, 7-point game and they're bringing the house, these guys want to turn their back to the defense just to get the footwork right, just to make sure everything's structured to what they're used to. And here's the pass rush the minute they turn around. Drives me insane. It works both ways because they're not comfortable going into gun. When you want to be in the gun on 3rd and 15 and you want to see the defense and you want to see where Micah Parsons is breathing down your throat, and these guys are turning their back and the play's over.
Yeah, I get that part of it. But the narrative was that Jalen Hurts can't do it. I think that's been put to bed.
Well, the narrative is he can't do it because they didn't do it. Like that you can blame on the coaching staff if you want to, because they didn't allow him to do it. So the presumption was, well, he's not comfortable doing it. And now they're doing it, whether it's out of necessity and it's been successful. Similar to there was he couldn't handle the blitz. Now he can't not handle the blitz.
He has a
now it's zone.
Passer rating.
That's part of why people get pissed.
Why is he get pissed?
They get locked in these stupid narratives. Jalen doesn't like going under center, so let's never put him under. Bullshit.
People have unrealistic expectations when it comes to
it's the same thing.
Get better at it.
It's the same. You're criticizing people for the same thing that you got criticized. Like when you say Dak Prescott played well for 7 weeks and then he plays poorly and some Yahoo comes in, oh, you got that wrong. So they spend 4 years not putting this guy under center. And then they put him under center and he does pretty well. And some Yahoo comes around. Well, see, I told you they do it. It's not my fucking fault. Your favorite team didn't put him under center. And by the way, if you do it against Green Bay in a 3rd and 12 situation, which will happen on November 10th, get ready to be fucked.
Yeah.
Well, it's obvious. You put him under center a little bit more, he's going to get more comfortable. He's going to get better at it over time.
Blame Nick Sirianni. There you can blame Nick Sirianni. And not Kevin Patullo. You can blame Kellen Moore and Brian Johnson and Shane Steichen because they didn't do it.
Yeah, I will.
Shane didn't do it.
If they go back to never putting him under
Jalen was
center,
runner-up for MVP. Why would you change something?
Well, that's true too.
Well, they've been really successful. I think
I say this as a bowler. Like, if I'm throwing the ball well, should I change my hand position to get more rotation?
I think that's a good point. I mean, they've been so successful. There's been no need to, but I think it is fair to say that. All right, if they do have to go to that, or they do need to switch it up, or they do.
I think it's fair to say Jalen Hurts has proven he can do it, but it's also fair to say the people that said, assumed that he couldn't do it. Why are you blaming them? He didn't do it. They didn't let him do it.
Yeah. I think we get too caught up in what insignificant people say.
Exactly.
You guys can't say that to me. I love both of you, but you guys love Jeff. You come on all the time, and I love it, Jeff. Don't get me wrong. I'm not criticizing you. This idiot on Twitter has been tweeted at me. I mean, it's part of it. It's part of it. I mean, we all do it.
It is part of it. It is part of it. I'm not saying it's not part of it, but I do think it's realistic to say that, look, they didn't put him under center. So I think it was a fair assessment for most of those people to say he's not comfortable under center. I mean, why else wouldn't they do it?
Three coordinate. I get it. I get that part of it.
And it's not only Jalen Hurts; it's a whole generation of quarterbacks. Who grow up.
Watch the league.
Yeah, who grow up in college football, which is a gun game.
Spread offense, 7-on-7.
Dude, it drives me crazy in college too. Even the passers in college, they don't line up under center.
Oh my God! If I hear, I'm like Gruden. If I hear one more snap count, I'm going to shoot myself in the head. I hate it. But that's how they play.
I got upset yesterday, Zander, to add to your point. I saw someone tweet, "Oh, the Eagles, they do this. Yeah, it takes them such a long time to get the playoff." Shut up.
Well,
you got 40 seconds. You're allowed to use 39 of them.
Yeah,
I got a lot of love for all the people that listen and check in on social media. At the end of the day, they're the reason we're in business. So I get it. I have a different perspective.
I think there's a lot of misinformation out there. Like there's a lot of quarterbacks who purposefully use the play clock to get as much information as possible. So when fans see the play clock going down, there's a lot of reasons things could have gone wrong. One of them is maybe the play call didn't come in fast enough. Most of the time with veteran quarterbacks, they are milking that clock on purpose. Now, when they get a delay game, it gets very frustrating, but they're doing it purposefully to get as much information as they can. And I think that's one of the things a lot of people don't realize.
It felt like the Packers had the play calls in early last night. I mean, Jordan Love was at the line of scrimmage surveying with 18 seconds on the play.
But all teams are not the same.
No, I know. I'm just saying one example last night was that they had time, and I think that helps, man. So, but I get what you're saying, John.
Well, LaFleur is an egomaniac, so it might be the exact opposite. They don't want the time because they don't need the time because they don't want the quarterback doing things at the line of scrimmage. Now, I don't know.
They don't want Jordan Love overthinking it.
That's what I'm trying to say. I don't cover the Packers, so I don't know. I'm not trying to say that's what's going on. I have no idea. I didn't watch it that closely. I don't know how quickly they were getting up to the line of scrimmage. I'm just saying I do know a little bit about Matt LaFleur. He's kind of one of the things he and Rodgers banged heads were Rodgers wanted to do things at the line of scrimmage and milk all that time to see what was going on. It was part of why they clashed. So there's a lot of different reasons that could be. And one of them is, and I say all the time, I don't know about you, Jeff, but how I feel. If you're not trying to get a quarterback that can do things at the line of scrimmage, I don't want you as my coach, period. End of sentence.
Yeah, you've been consistent with that, no doubt. Good stuff, Jeff.
I said this with Jordan Love, too. My final point. I said this with Jordan Love, too, adding to John's point. Like, you hear he's a top 5 quarterback. I don't know why people say that.
I know. Who said
I said he is a game manager that can throw the ball deep. That's what he is.
He's very gifted, but no, I haven't heard too many top
If the
five.
Eagles beat the Packers, I guarantee you Jordan Love will have a lot to do with it.
He'll have 2 picks if the Eagles win that game.
I was not impressed by the team the Packers beat last night. I'm impressed with the Packers, but I think Packers fans, especially Packers fans, like to blow some smoke up there. You know what? When it
Well, all fan bases. I will say this about Packers fans because I've been there a lot because I lived out in that area and I had to go there every year. They're lunatics as well with their team.
They are,
but they're
very
nice.
spoiled.
They're very spoiled. Very similar fan bases, but they're very nice. they're very polite.
You don't think I think Eagles fans are nicer than people give them credit for?
They're lunatics, but they're very polite lunatics. Now there's a different level.
I think I'm telling you, man, I think it's the online people. The online people are a different beast. I go out in public and people are the nicest people.
Oh, I agree with that.
I agree with that too.
I go to people at the post office. The guy's like, well, what's going on in the passing game? Talk to me about it. All these regular it's the internet people who are like, you're
I agree with that.
All this bullshit. I mean,
anytime when I traveled a lot, anytime somebody would come up, they were all tremendously nice.
Yeah, nobody's coming up to you saying, "Oh, Johnny Mac, you're an asshole for this take," or blah blah. Yeah. And I think it's all.
Well, that's because in real life there's accountability. They don't know what Johnny Mac's going to do if you say that to him.
Right. Yeah. All the fake accounts, and the fake names.
The bots. That's I call them the bots. I saw people making fun of one of the media people the other night, and he said back, boy, that's rich. You're talking to me about accountability and what I look like, but you don't, your face is not showing on your profile.
Well, so. Jeff, anytime someone says that, they have nothing good to say. That's how.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, I mean, I got to tell you is that I don't take fans seriously if they have fake names. I just
like Paulie Walnuts.
Yeah.
Paulie Walnuts is his niece is in our chat, Kimberly Sirica.
Really?
Yeah, her uncle, Paulie Walnuts. Yep. Related to.
But there's a lot of fake Paulie Walnuts now. I know. Like, where's the real one?
I talked to her. She's legit. She's here. She might be here right now. I'm not sure. Kimberly and Walnut, both of them, they're brother and sister. Yeah. Yep. Their uncle is Paulie Walnuts. Pretty sick. Good stuff. All right, Jeff, your final thoughts, bro. Eagles beat the crap out of the Giants yesterday. Pieces restored. The Cowboys look like crap. Dak Prescott throws 2 picks. The Giants get beat their ass beat by the Eagles. Everything is looking good in the NFC East again, Jeff. Your final thoughts today on the show.
The Eagles are going to win the division. I'm going to say that right now.
That's news in itself. Over 2 decades, man.
Yeah.
Back to back.
I mean, the Commanders are probably going to get destroyed tonight by Kansas City.
I agree. Kansas City, I'm so depressed by that. I'm done with that team. But we can't be done with that team because the AFC stinks.
That team's going to be around for a while there, John.
I'm sorry to tell you, John. I don't think you're done with that team at all.
Ugh.
I love the Colts story this year, by the way, and I hope
I'm all Colts. I'm all Colts.
Yeah,
I'm all Colts up.
I just feel like they're going to be like that 14-win team. We're all going to love them and come to the divisional round of the playoffs.
I love Shane. I know nobody is going to believe in Daniel Jones until he does it in the playoffs, but that is a good football team, man. And Taylor
that team's more than Daniel Jones. They have a good offensive line.
Taylor might be the real MVP, but you're not going to get it.
He won't get it, and he might break the touchdown record.
Yeah. Same thing with Saquon last year. I mean, he wasn't going to. We all knew he wasn't going to get the MVP.
Yeah.
That their award, Taylor will get NFL Offensive Player of the Year. That's what he'll get. If he stays healthy the rest of the way.
Drake May's probably going to get an MVP right now.
Yeah.
If I had to make a guess.
He's playing really good. And here, by the way, here's Kimberly. She is here. So I told you.
There we go.
So shout out to you, Kimberly. Good stuff. All right, Jeff. Good stuff, man. I appreciate you for doing it today. You always give us extended time. It's always good breaking down the Monday games with you, my friend.
Victory Monday.
I'll be here for the bye week too, Zander. I ain't got, just because the Eagles have
some people. By the way,
a
lot of people are taking vacations. Chep and I, we got to work.
Do they? People take vacations.
Oh my God,
I haven't taken.
Oh yeah, like I don't know what that is during this time of year.
I already got turned down twice this week from normal people because our normal guests because they're going on vacation.
I mean, Gil takes 4. I've never seen somebody vacation more than Gil. Mike Gil, I love you. God bless you. But holy
Now, Mike's
moly.
not one of them yet. He
Oh,
might.
no, Mike's not one.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
I've been
John had to
talking
go up to me and make sure. I'm like, come on, you know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Yeah, Jeff's a football hog. Jeff doesn't vacation during football season. Me and you both, Jeff. I'm with you, brother. All right, man. Good stuff, Jeff. We appreciate it, bro. We'll talk to you next week. All right.
Yep. See you guys.
See you, bud.
There's Jeff Kerr joining us right here on Birds 365. Make sure you guys follow him at Jeff Kerr CBS. Read all his work at cbssports.com.